And this is from Jack. So, the impeachment hearing is still going on. And I watched a little bit of it live today, which it's very annoying to watch. Like basically, they're covering it 24/7 in some cases. So you literally have the segment I was watching. They were talking about which senators were sitting next to each other. And then they had a Senator chaplain lead a prayer, which I didn't know there was a Senate chaplain, but there is. And that person led a prayer, because we have a separation of church and state in this country. It's a thing we have. Sure. We unapologetically still have a National Day of Prayer. But anyway, so that's all going on. Meanwhile, while impeachment has been going on, they gave Trump billions more for his military budget. They allowed him to push for an illegal war with Iran. In fact, most people, Republicans and Democrats, I mean Congress, Republicans and Democrats were in support of it. They gave him a new NAFTA. They gave him the Patriot Act. What a resistance, baby. What a resistance. Giving him billions to go bomb who he wants, giving him unlimited spying powers. Tell me again, let's get Adam Schiff on camera telling me what a traitor Trump is. Telling me Trump's some treasonous traitor. Well, he simultaneously gives them unlimited spying powers and gives them billions to go bomb whoever he wants. It doesn't sound like this is just a charade at all. But Trump was able to celebrate this victory. Again, I called this. I was like, the new NAFTA, that's a big victory. Trump's going to be able to take that on the campaign trail, and he's going to, believe me. This is from The Hill. Trump takes victory lap with USMCA signing. It's the new NAFTA, a lot like the old NAFTA. President Trump on Wednesday signed the USMCA agreement in a ceremony on the South Lawn of the White House, celebrating a signature legislative accomplishment on trade. Here's what he had to say. Today, we are finally ending the NAFTA nightmare and signing into law the brand new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement, Trump said in remarks Wednesday morning. The USMCA is the largest, fairest, most balanced and modern trade agreement ever achieved. A number of Republican lawmakers attended the signing event, and Trump took time at the top of his remarks to recognize several by name. Trump joked it would take him 3 hours to name everyone present, but there was a notable absence of some of the key Democrats who were instrumental in negotiating with the Trump administration on the final agreement on the deal. No Democrats were on the list of attendees. Well, I guess that makes sense. And of course, remember, the big takeaway here, who cares that Trump's little celebration didn't have any Democrats there? I don't care. That's just theater. Once again, just theater. At the end of the day, what's important to note, Democrats helped Trump get this. And it ain't a great deal. It's a lot like the old NAFTA. And not enough people stood up against it. Chuck Schumer didn't vote for it, by the way. It's a trade deal so bad, even Chuck Schumer didn't vote for it. And in the House, the squad stood up against it. The squad voted against it. But you know who voted for it? Ro Khanna and Tulsi Gabbard. They both voted for it, which was a huge mistake on both their parts. Huge mistake. Why would you vote for it? And then in the Senate, even Chuck Schumer, although Chuck Schumer, it was probably just a symbolic thing. It was probably just a symbolic action. He knew it would pass the Senate, so he wanted to look good, so he went against it. Bernie Sanders went against it. So they handed Trump this re-election gift. And they've handed him so many. I mean, hey, going back to our last story, what else did they do for Trump? They squashed the Save the Internet Act in the Senate so he didn't have to veto it. Net neutrality, something that 83% of Americans favor. The House has put through a Save the Internet Act, which is a 3-page piece of legislation that just gives us our net neutrality back. That's all it does. It just gives us net neutrality back. The Senate squashed that so that Trump didn't have to veto it. That's like 5. Oh, wait, I'm forgetting a couple. Oh, and they let him take food stamps away from 750,000 people. That's like 6 gifts that they handed Trump. Well, they're supposed to, they fast-tracked some of his judges. That's 7. How many gifts do they have to hand Donald Trump before people realize this is just a circus? This is just theater. And here's another one. And he's celebrating his new NAFTA. But Democrats aren't at the celebration because by Democrats not being at the celebration, they're continuing the facade that there's actually an opposition to this administration. There is not. At least not one with a lot of power. There are some people that slip through the cracks. A few people in electoral politics that are actually trying to do something about this thing. It is a very small number. But for the most part, this is bipartisan, baby. That military budget's bipartisan. Squashing net neutrality had some support in the Senate from Democrats too. The new NAFTA had a bunch of bipartisan support. And it's a lot like the old NAFTA. Still going to screw over workers, doesn't do anything about the environment. So bad, even Chuck Schumer had to go against it to look good. That's how bad it is. Fast-tracking his judges with bipartisan support. Giving him unlimited spying powers with bipartisan support. But we'll make it look like there's a resistance because we're not going to be in the room with him. We're going to send a cake to the GOP saying to let people testify. Nancy Pelosi is going to clap a certain way. What a joke. And some people think it's a real it's wow. Bipartisan is code for the Democrats are helping the Republicans screw you harder. The Republicans have a horrible idea. Democrats are going to help. That's what bipartisan means. So Trump's taking a victory lap, and he'll continue that victory lap. Mark my words, he will use this on the campaign trail, and he'll be able to. He'll be like, look, they were trying to get rid of me. Meanwhile, we got this amazing trade deal through. It's not an amazing trade deal. It's a horrible trade deal. But a bunch of Democrats supported it too. But they're not at the party. They're not at his celebration party. That's significant. They're not at the celebration party. Unreal. All right, the resistance, baby. The resistance.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and